press record whenever you like. You can wait if you want. You can wait a few minutes while we get people to join the chat. My Jetta just farted on me as well, so oh my god, it stinks. And Ash has already joined the chat. Let's go. Let's go, Ash.
Hi, Ash. I just started recording as soon as you said Jetta farted on you.
She's so stinky for such a little dog. How are you, Ash? Nice to see you in the chat today. We are very excited about. We've never done this before. Maybe I don't know. This could be something that we do on a regular basis if it works.
I know. We're merging the two worlds.
We're merging the two worlds, yes. Hi, yes. Benny. Nice to see you. Crew's in the house. Benny's here as well. Yeah, Ash, I'm feeling good today, which is good. So I had my jab yesterday, and Tam had her jab this morning. So we're
I did.
We're one Pfizer up each.
Yeah. Yep. We're getting immune. Half the country's done in New Zealand now, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so good. I think we're at 60-something% for the first jab in Melbourne, which is pretty exciting.
Oh, that's good.
Not sure about for second. We're a bit behind with fully vaccinated, but that's good because it's with Pfizer, you only have to wait 3 weeks. So it's in 3 weeks, we could be up to I don't know, 60 or 70%, which is exciting. 52% Benny's saying for the first jab. That's amazing. Hers is next week. Tell Jarvis he needs to swap his fedora for an Akubra. He does. Oh, that's funny. I've got Tam, I've got a little emote of Jarvis that only Benny has access to because he's a tier 3 subscriber, which is, I know you don't know anything about Twitch. We will discuss all of this, which will be fun. What up, Watto? Nice to see you. Guess what? What, Watto?
Hi, Watto.
17-month subscription. Let's go, Watto. What up, 80? Nice to see you here as well. Oh, all the regs here. This is so awesome.
How good. I'm getting a little...
This is so fun. Getting a little video.
Getting a little vid, but I can't see the Twitch screen, so hi everyone.
Can't see it. Hi Tegan, nice to see you. We're so excited about this today. We're trying something new. I didn't have a guest for today, and I was last minute, I was Tam, let's do this, and you were absolutely. This sounds awesome. So, what up, Benny? 13-month subby, let's go. 13 months. I can't believe it's been 13 months, Benny. That's wild. Watto's getting his jab in a couple of hours as well. So, anyway, we're going to try this. We're going to try this whole podcast recording thing, see how it goes.
Yeah.
So I reckon take it away, and we'll just see how this works.
Okay, so we're not only live on Twitch with Michelle Grace Hunter's crew. Hi, everyone. We are also on the podcast of You're
Killing It!
Michelle's always just a little bit behind. We never get the timing right.
No, the delay in the Zoom is so funny.
It's so bad. I like it.
I like it as well. Ash said she loves it, so she said the intro is the best, so we're going to roll with it.
Yay, and we also use the amazing Sawyer's Real artist, who is one of Michelle's good friends. He does our podcast music, and we've literally been told often that it is the best podcast intro music ever. So thank you, Sawyer.
Oh my God, Tamma, it's so amazing that you said that, because today I'm actually playing Soy's new album that just dropped. It's called, it's called Just Add Rain Volume 3. And also, I do the intro to the album. So if you want to listen to that, it's playing in the background, guys. Just let me know in the chat if you can hear it as well. It might be a little soft, but I am playing it in the background of the Twitch stream today. And we'll put links, I think, for our podcast listeners as well, because it's so good.
Yeah.
Not just because I do the intro, but yes. Anyway,
he's
what are we talking about today, Tamma?
Okay, so today we are talking about MIDI cries. And what is a MIDI cry? Michelle,
what is a
do
MIDI
you want
cry?
to explain what a MIDI cry is to everyone?
A MIDI cry, well, our version of the MIDI cry is a midlife crisis in which you have a full-blown identity crisis. And I mean, for us, it was like changing our hairstyles to the most crazy things you've ever seen. We're going to show some examples coming up on the stream. But basically an identity crisis where you're trying to find yourself. Who am I? What's happening? What's going on in our lives? And we're going to talk about basically how we got to that point, what started the MIDI cry, and what finished it. Yes. And it manifests. The weird thing is that for both of us, it manifested in bizarre hairdos. And it's kind of probably because we are creative people. And I think it does manifest in lots of different ways for people. But for us, it obviously is hairdos. And I think it's quite telling when you look at our hairdos, probably what we were up to. You guys
are
gonna die.
Yeah.
We just figured this out recently, that we both had a MIDI cry that involved crazy hairdos. So the other thing that I should mention for those listening on the podcast today, we are live streaming from my Twitch channel today. We've never done this before, so if you hear us talking to people in the chat, there's a chat of people listening to this conversation live. So it's my community that have been around for over 18 months now. So it's so good that we can join our worlds and have a bit of fun. It's really cool.
Yes, I'm really happy to be here on Twitch with all the crew there. And we're happy to have our podcast listeners tuning in as well. We will put some photos up in a collage of all of our hairdos. And we'll be as descriptive as possible while we're doing this for those of you that can't see the photos while you're listening to the podcast as well. So should we kick this off? Michelle.
We should, absolutely.
Tell me about your first MIDI cry.
Oh God! I need to scroll back. Okay, I've got to find the photo. Okay, the first one. I've got to find the first one. Okay, this is the first one, I think. All right, this is the first one. So let's pull up the. The first one was. Yeah, so it's the black and white photo where I'm like leaning forward and the half of my head shaved. That's the one. That's the one. I've got it up on the screen at the moment so everyone can see. So, so I guess I should explain what happened. Basically, was after my catastrophic business failure, which we have spoken on the stream and the podcast before. And I got into photography, and it was the first time I think I was really immersed in the Melbourne kind of music scene. And I started meeting just really cool people, and just like, I felt like I could, for the first time in my life, actually be myself. I don't even know how to explain it, but in all of my previous jobs, I would always try and push the envelope in terms of what corporate wear was and what you were allowed. I was always getting in trouble for what I was wearing and stuff. And so when I went freelance and I had none of that, and I was meeting all of these artists and creatives and musicians, all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I can kind of do whatever I want. And I started, I guess, experimenting with my hair. So the first thing I did was actually shave one side. It was only a small section, and this is probably the second iteration. I think I went a little bit higher here, but this is and then I dyed it blonde. It was originally red, so it's kind of it's very blonde there, and it was still quite long at this stage as well, but this was very close to being the start of the MIDI cry.
It's very edgy. Because how long ago was that? Because
it was late 2011.
Okay, so chicks were shaving their heads back then. Because I remember, like it became something where chicks were starting to. But I remember it wasn't that common. I reckon when I had my first MIDI cry and shaved all of mine off.
I think by the time that I did it, it was I'm thinking 2008, 2009, people were doing stuff like this, and I was probably a little bit late to the train. Maybe.
Yeah, but you were having a MIDI cry, so you're allowed to. It's fine.
Oh my God, the guys in the chat, they're all saying that they love it, and Benny said
I do
it's a
too.
thirst trap. That's hilarious. You need water. That's so funny. Jose saying she's got an undercut. So this ended up being, which you'll see later on when we show some of the other photos, but this ended up being a full undercut, the whole back, very high as well, but we'll see that later on.
I had one of those as well, actually. I don't have any photos of the undercut, but I love my undercut.
I did too. I had that undercut for a long time. I've actually it was really just before lockdown that the undercut had kind of finally grown out. It took so long to grow out. Oh my God.
Yeah, they do. They do. I know.
They're not fun to grow out. Sorry, Zoe, but
they're not.
They're they're an absolute bitch to grow out.
My hair apparently grows so stupidly fast. It grows over a centimetre a month.
Yeah, I reckon I'd be the same. Have I shown you the photo of before lockdown and 1 year into lockdown? Have I shown you that photo, Tam? Like, you will die. I'll have to show you that.
Show me.
It literally grew like, I'm not joking, it literally grew like this much. It was just, everyone was like, the people that hadn't seen me were like, what the hell happened?
I know, it's nuts. Like mine, honestly, it's like starting to get caught in my crack.
Yay! I'm
long.
the same. My mum said to me the other day, this is so funny, this is passive aggressive mother to a T, but she said something like, you know that you can get money to donate your hair? Like she was hinting that I needed a haircut.
You can donate it for wigs. Oh my gosh, and that was her way of being like, get a haircut and get a real job.
100% was my mum's way of saying I needed a haircut.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my God. Oh, Ash is like, that's when you know it's too long. It is ridiculously long. I did have it booked in the day, like a few days after we went into this last lockdown. So, you know, I was prepared to do it, but...
Me too.
Here we are.
I know, I've got like this much regrowth, that's why I'm wearing this hat at the moment.
Are we gonna go photo for photo? Are we gonna see one of your... All right, let's go.
Let's stay on the shaved head train.
All right, which one? Show me the one on your screen and I'll pull it up on...
And I think we'll just go straight into my first, probably midi cry, and we'll go for the big mohawk. What do you reckon?
Yeah, the mohawk, I don't... Oh my God, the mohawk... What, like, okay, so I've got the photos up here.
And I was trying to obviously be a little bit feminine with boobs hanging out in a pink singlet. Good one, mate. But I used to skate. That's definitely a midlife crisis right there. And I was only about 21.
Oh my God, it's so mini mohawk.
So my boyfriend at the time had one as well. So we had a his and her thing going on. And that used to be...
Benny said that's a full-blown adult mohawk. That's not a mini.
Yeah, it was quite massive. And it was even longer than that. I used to dye it like green and red, but I've only got one of the photos of it in black. But that was an interesting time, actually. And I definitely am someone that will probably dress depending on my mood. And I will also change my hair depending on my mood. So hair that I have now is probably the longest I've had, like as in I've had it pretty normal for a really long time now. But back then was quite interesting because I grew up in a fairly, like a town that, you know, no offense to people that live there, but it just wasn't for me. I got away when I was 18. I was like, but yeah, not into it. But I actually had a little bit of a hard time at high school and stuff with a little bit of picking on people, bullying or whatever. Like I had some, like my two big sisters, really beautiful looking women, right? And I got to high school and some stuff like guys are saying, oh, the other sister's coming to high school soon. When I got to high school and I was just young, you know, and I joined and they're like, oh, you're the ugly one. So I kind of, so going through high school, it's like, oh no, like I'm the ugly one. Yeah. And you're the little sister and you're the ugly one. So I was like, this sucks. So I kind of got a bit over it. And so I just got real attitude-y in my teens. Yeah, you just like
fully rebelled.
Yeah. And I was kind of, around about that time I was doing like, I think, maybe it was a little bit earlier than that. I was doing like theatre shows. So I was like Rizzo and Grease. So I was kind of getting a little bit more of like the sort of rebellious stuff.
The edgy kind of rebellious,
yeah. And I had like an old classic car, but I basically was like, you know, had pretty regular kind of haircuts and stuff. I just got sick of it, and it was pretty much like a big like stick it up your ass, like fuck you type thing.
Yeah,
And I was just
feel
like, I'm gonna shave my hair off. I'm sick of this shit. And I also love punk music.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Ash has asked, she's asked, do you style it every day, or did you ever just let it flop to one side, or was it always in? And how much gel did you go through? Zoe asked.
So putting the fan up actually took quite a while. So that I would use a hairdryer and hairspray, and you would set it. Yeah. So my ex-husband used to stick the mohawk up for me, and he used to shave my head for me. He'd always cut my head. It was so annoying. I was just like, but yeah, it's a two-person job.
That's why he's your ex, because he would cut your head.
Physically cut my head. But so it was quite a big job to stick the mohawk up. But I used to do it like pretty much most days. But yeah, sometimes I just have that sleazy little like rat tail thing going down the middle of the hair, and just like rock a ponytail. Yeah, and I used to get called Bulldog. So, you know, it wasn't always, I wasn't always putting myself out there for
with kids and the worst. Yeah. My nickname at high school was Gonzo, because I had a really big nose, and I've obviously was so psychologically traumatized that I had a nose job. So
you did not.
Yes.
Are you seriously?
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes.
Are you seriously? I had the same thing, Mish, because like again, I was saying my big sisters, like they're very beautiful girls, and they've got these cute little ski slope noses, and I've got a massive honker. Like I got a big nose, and I was like, it was quite funny when I was, you know, a lot of my singing days, people have told me I look like Bette Midler, Barbara Streisand, and Amy Winehouse. And what's quite funny about them is that they've all got quite prominent noses, but also like our eyes are all quite close together. So we've got
also
some
amazing singers. So
they are amazing. So what's very interesting about it is that actually with your face and the way that your structure of your bones, your bone structures and stuff, is actually determines the sound of your voice.
I've heard this. I've actually heard this before.
Yes. So the shape of my nose.
No, you go.
I was going to say the shape of my nose. You go. The shape of my nose is actually what gives me the tone and timbre of my voice. So if I went and chopped that, and I use my nose a lot for singing. It's an air chamber, and so if I was to slice that down or cut it down, my voice would change. Yeah. This is
the thing it's I mean, like for me, it had a very positive impact on my life, and it really got me out of my shell, I think, because it really played a big impact on me. It really it's very hard to even communicate how much of like the trauma affected me at that time. But anyway, I got that done and was like, ta-da! And
you're like, hey. Okay, let's go on to your next hairdo then with the
let's do it.
And tell me. I think that's an amazing story, but what's sad is that that's come off the back of people just being dickheads, that it's just like,
I know.
And now
it was really positive. I sometimes think, oh man, because my nose was very Roman type nose, so I had a bump as well, and
I want to see.
It was very much like my father's nose. It's a very Italian, very Sicilian nose, and but I'm really like I'm stoked. Honestly, it was a really good thing for me. I don't think it's necessarily the right thing for everybody, but
I
understand completely, Tegan. Which hairstyle would you like to look at next?
I would like to talk about the perps one with the fake glasses.
The perps, all right. The perps with the...
What's going on there?
This was quite late in the... This was quite 80 saying he's part of the... he's got the Italian Roman nose. A lot of Italians have. Yes. It's very common, So this was... it's really interesting too, because a lot of I used to get a lot in the music industry scene. A lot of people used to think I was a lesbian, and I'm not offended by that at all, because shout out to all my lesbian friends. But
I've had the same.
this is definitely around the peak lesbian kind of vibe that people would just be like, oh, I'd say something about my husband. They're like, oh, I thought you were a lesbian.
You're like, no, you're just assuming that.
I'm not. I'm actually really, really into dudes, but I do like this haircut. This was, I mean, it's really, they're all kind of iterations of the same haircut. They would just get more and more extreme. So like,
yes,
this was just like, you know, it's the same haircut as before. It's a little bit shorter. I went from orange to blonde to like a rusty kind of color. And then the last color I went was this purple, which I kind of really vibed actually. And I don't know why I'm wearing these glasses because I don't need glasses.
The glasses.
So, yeah. They're definitely fake glasses. So I'm just pulling the music back up.
That's
so
awesome.
Thanks Tegan. She's saying she loves it on me. I actually do. I mean,
I think it's great.
I'll show you some other iterations of the same. This is the same haircut, but orange. The orange was around for a long time.
The orange is sassy. I like that.
Yeah, that was around the time that Rise came out. This is the same haircut. I got the little speed. This little speed lines shaved in the side as well. That's a little speed lines one. And then the blonde.
Speed lines.
The little blonde as well. So the blonde with the cap. I've got the bowler cap on. They're the same haircut but different colours. I would just experiment with colour a lot.
Yes,
so
but you suit all of the colours. You've got the right complexion and face shape, and you've got the nice, you've got a good face shape to pull off the shaved sides as well, which is
I did really love it, to be honest. And I think that's why I had that haircut for so long.
Bring it back.
What's next in your
okay. Oh no, this is okay. So yours are attractive, mine are not. Okay.
No, I would say we've got other ones.
Let's talk about how I was way ahead of Sia Fuller, and let's go for the Sid Vicious half. This is not the greatest photo, but this is, and I got this is the epitome of meltdowns. Okay, so I went Sia Fuller. Okay, I went half black and half peroxided blonde or white, Cruella de Vil styles. This is 2009. Sia Fuller came out with her half and half in 2016. So
I feel like, and even I still see this a lot, like now at the moment.
I think maybe 2008 or even earlier than that. I'll have to go back through my Facebook photos to have a look. Anyway, as you can see, I was coming off the back of the Mohawk punk phase. Sid Vicious t-shirt, still massively into it. It's got a slight kind of chub going on there because I was drinking a lot of beer. And why was I doing that? Okay, so I had moved to Melbourne at that point in time, but what was interesting about this point in time is that I was pretty young there. I was, even though I don't look people call me Benjamin Button because I actually looked older when I was 22, 23, 24.
People say that to me as well, Tam. People say that to me all the time. They see younger photos and they're like, why do you look younger now? It is
I don't know. Benjamin Buttons, it's good. But this one, and we won't show, I don't think we need to show the one.
Yeah, which one? Which one?
No,
no, we have to show it. It's so funny. It's so funny. We need to show it. Don't worry, we'll show a bad one of me in a sec. This one is.
Can I speak to the manager?
This is very speak to the manager.
Okay, this is an epitome of midlife crisis because I was only 24 in that photo, 24, and I was married with a mortgage, and I'd already been married for like a few years, and I actually
you actually look like you've been married at this point. Like this is very
okay. So I was like, this is an interesting point in my life. This was I reckon, lowest of the low for me in that time. That I was, I couldn't sing. I had encountered vocal problems, and I lost my identity. And what I thought I thought I would, go on to live this fruitful career of being this, singer that was doing all this amazing shit and touring around the world and stuff. And I ended up having vocal surgery and I got really depressed. And so here I was, like 22, 23, 24 years old, unable to sing, which is all I knew myself to be, as a singer who was going to go off to do great things. I was married with a mortgage and a shitload of debt because my ex-husband and I were just not killing it at that point in time in our lives. And he, as much as he is a great guy, was just not really that driven or keen to do anything much with his life. And so we kind of just ate a lot of food and drank a lot of beer and like just didn't really do anything very meaningful. And I was just totally lost. So that photo is actually quite an interesting thing of like, I'm this young person trapped in this old person's body because I look like I'm 40 something in that photo and I'm literally like 22 or something. And that's when I was like, okay, shit's got to change. And that was a massive MIDI cry, that one. So then I went, we'll go back to you. But I went in.
Well, I reckon tell us the next stage. Where did you go from there?
The next stage, I think I went into this one. So I lost my weight.
Oh, what a bag!
Lost all my weight, chopped my hair off, got a bit confident there. I feel like
Were you divorced by this point?
No, I was still married there.
Still married? Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because this definitely looks like a divorce haircut.
Oh, my divorce. Yeah, actually, I don't think I've got any. Oh, yeah, look, this is a divorce photo because look how skinny I was. And then it literally looks like I've grown noodles on my head. That's divorce days.
Where's that one? I've got to find that one. Hang on.
Yeah, I was not eating any food at that point in time.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And that, but you know, that's me.
The noodles
at 29. So, you know, I looked younger there than I did when I had that half and half red thing. Anyway, that was interesting. So, yeah, let's throw the ball back to you and discuss the next.
Could definitely, when I kind of chopped all my hair off at one point. It didn't last that long, to be honest. But this was just when I first got it cut all off, and I was going to my friend's 21st.
Is it this one?
No, that's the next one, because then I kind of did it twice. It was the one in the yellow top.
Oh, yes.
It's just a little bit longer in the front.
I love that.
I did really like this haircut, and there's some actually really cool photos, because it's when I started doing radio a while back. I've got some really cool, we did a photo shoot where my hair was like this. If anyone's ever seen, Cherie, my best friend, put together a collage of me looking like Justin Bieber. It's of me when I had this hair. It's really funny. For some reason, I really look like Justin Bieber at that point. It was very, very funny. But so yeah, I just chopped it. I think we were talking about this before we went live, but we were just saying how, like, I don't know, once you kind of shave your head or cut it, like, you stop being so attached to your hair, and you're just kind of like, it's gonna grow back, just do like whatever. And I definitely got to the point where I was like, oh, I'll just chop it, see what happens. And the only thing I don't like about this haircut is once it started to grow even a little bit, it definitely gave me like mumsy vibes, and I was allergic to looking anything like a mum. I was just like, I just hated it, even if it grew a little bit. So I was kind of like, I just was never really happy, because like 3 weeks after you get it cut, I'm like, I look like a middle-aged mum, and I'm not vibing it. So that's what was frustrating about that haircut. The other iteration of it was when I dyed it black, and I cut the fringe very short again.
See, I think you suit the fringe. Your fringe has actually grown in lockdown quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to grow it out a little bit, because I want to do something a bit new, but it's an iteration. Photo mum. I definitely look like photo mum in this one. That's for sure.
Photo mum.
Photo mum. That's my nickname with my Twitch community, Tam, is photo mum.
Photo mum. I love that. That's awesome. I actually, speaking of the short fringe, I had one of
Yes, have you got one?
I did have one, but I just realised I didn't put it in our collection. But what was funny, my mum used to be like, yeah, I think you should grow your fringe out. And then it came down to it that basically I did a collage of myself with a sloth next to me, and I looked the same. You know how sloths have fringes? Legit, I need to try and find you that because it was.
You've got to find the sloth collage. What up, Matt? I need a posture check. Hang on a sec. We go.
Yeah, the sloth one.
That is so funny. The sloth one. Oh my god, I need to see the sloth photo.
I'll go through. You talk about your. Well, we went from the mumsy short one. I'm sure that the sloth photo will appear somewhere. Yeah,
that's right. What up to Matt and also Brittany with the 17-month subscription. You're on a 17-month streak. Nice to see you here, my love. We're doing. Thanks for those who've just joined us. We're actually recording our podcast that Tamma and I do together. You're killing it. We're live streaming / recording today, just for something different, and we're talking about our midlife crises, which involved us just drastically changing our hair to the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yes. And
yes.
I think I might be finished.
What about this one? Hang on. No, this one. We haven't talked about this one.
Which one?
It's the one with the leopard zebra print on the side.
Oh yeah. That one.
How could you miss that one?
Oh, and did you the one of me singing?
Wait,
one,
where is that one? Oh, yes. Hang
or
on
the
a sec,
zebra. Did you put the zebra?
I've got the It's the zebra one. So it's a tighter shot of that.
That one was freshly divorced, as single. My
this is
voice...
a freshly divorced haircut. Yes.
Yeah. And I was feeling sassy as Yes, and I had just got my singing voice back after years of surgery, rehabilitation. Like I said, I got real flat and depressed because I couldn't sing anymore, and I'd had all this training and I was ready to roll. And so then going on to that picture that couples with it with the leopard print was my very first appearance back on stage after divorce, vocal surgery, all of the things. So
let me try and find that one. That's this one here. There we go.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a bloody punk bag.
So you could see that I was like there's a lot of energy going on in this part of my life here, because I was like I just felt like a new person. I was like, I'm free. I got a lot of shit to get off my chest. So and things felt good.
Brit just said, I wish I had that level of confidence. Do you feel like, because Brit's very young. I think Brit is 22, I believe, 21, 22.
Hi, Brit.
Maybe 21. Brittany.
Hi, Brit. Yeah, my accent's like Brit.
Brit. It's Brittany. No. But I would never have done, at 21, I was so attached to my hair. Like this was very, I didn't start, this was like in my 30s when I started doing crazy shit. But you were a little bit younger, weren't you?
Oh man, I
shaved
all my hair
very early.
Yeah, I shaved all my hair off. Yeah, well, I mean, I got the mohawk I started doing the mohawk at 18 and kept the mohawk I had for a long time. So, but like when I was 18, like chicks didn't shave their head then, like, you know, like, yeah, because I'm obviously in my 30s as well. And, here's the sloth. And I'll send it to you in.
Yeah, put it in the Facebook chat, because then I can put it up on the screen.
Okay, hang on. Yeah, so I think I just decided to just, I don't know. I just don't think I really cared. For me, I wasn't trying to, I don't know what it was. I didn't feel like I needed to look feminine for anybody, or I didn't feel like I needed to like try and be hot or anything like that. And I think, like I was saying, it did come off the back of, you know, it was kind of sad. I mean, you said with your nose job-ish, but it did come off the back of like being teased about being the ugly one out of my sisters and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go hardcore. Like, I love punk music. I was like screaming in punk bands and stuff. That's part of the reason I ended up having vocal surgery. But at the same time, I was like, just basically like, you can all go piss off. Like, and I just wasn't trying to attract anybody really. So if you don't feel like you need to impress or attract anyone, then you're just going to go and balls out and do what it is that you feels right for you. And
yeah, there's a real self-confidence that comes with just not
giving a shit
to whatever. You're just like, you're not giving a shit. That's definitely, I mean, I just came to that a lot later, I think, and that's exactly how I felt. It was just like, I feel comfortable in expressing myself this way.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be anything. It doesn't need to be overly feminine. It doesn't need to be, it's just like, this is just how I feel, this is just how I'm expressing myself. And I felt very cool and very artsy at that time, like I felt like, oh, I'm part of the scene now, and I just felt comfortable to express myself because I saw so many people around me that were also comfortable, and that just meant all of those preconceived ideas about whatever were just gone. That's what I love about being creative and in the creative scene. It's just like, you can just express yourself however you want. I love that. So there's a real freedom in that, which is awesome.
There is, but I also think with the freedom, there is freedom, but it's also subjective in a lot of ways. Like, for instance, some people might feel chained down. Like, I want to say things like this, but I feel like I can't because I might my friends might get offended, or my parents might tell me off for like, that's not what, that sort of thing. People can put mental barriers up as well. And I think if you can learn to pull those barriers down and go, actually, do you know what? I actually don't give a crap. And I think it is kind of interesting because it's a mixed thing. I think if you're creating, you can't put your stuff out there and care what other people are going to say. You just can't, because if you care about what everyone is going to say about your creative stuff, you will not put anything out, because you're never going to please everybody. And I think if you're going to put yourself out there with some of whatever you're doing, I think it's a good idea to share it with some people you trust, who will give you feedback that you are looking for, that is constructive, that's helpful. But sending a song off to 20 people and saying, what do you think? Shall I release it? I don't think that that's very productive or helpful, because people are always going to tell you different things.
I saw something recently that said, never take criticism of someone that you wouldn't, it was like, you wouldn't aspire to be, or something. Like, you're not just taking criticism of people, just randoms. Like, you take criticism of someone that is, a mentor, or someone that's really influential in your life. But other than that, like, it is all subjective. Like, I think that's such a great point. And you have your circle of trust and people that that you can show stuff to. I mean, this is why I love creating this Twitch community, is like trying to create a really welcoming circle of people that you can just put out your art, and that we're not going to smash you down and tell you that it's wrong and that what you're doing, like there's a space to create, there's a space to make mistakes, there's a space to learn, but it's not about harsh critiques. And sure, we might be like, oh, how about you try this, or what about this next time, but it's never about, oh my god, you did this wrong, because I just think that's so counterproductive to creativity and exploring and learning and all that sort of stuff. So and that's, we spoke to Poppy Reid about her as a journalist and giving people reviews and on people's work, and I think, and she's got a great outlook with it all, but I just think that if you go and seek advice from people that you don't necessarily aspire to or look up to, or and they tell you something that could throw you off something that you really love, then is that necessarily the best thing? I've even had it recently where I've written and produced a song that I really love, sent it off to some people who are in the industry, and didn't get what I wanted to hear, like and so therefore I'm like, why should I stop loving what I've created just because there's a couple of people in the industry that might not be gelling with it? So I'm going to put it out anyway. Absolutely. And then look, there's a few people in the chat are touching on, because Matt said he's turning 30 in a couple of years, and Benny and Ash are both there next year. But there's such an obsession with youth in Australia, and I mean, and
Yeah,
New Zealand
big
would be
time.
the same. But like,
No, New Zealand's not much.
speaking, not really. Well, it definitely is in Australia. It's like, and what up, Cherie? Nice to see you here, my love. There's something that I really wanted to touch on because everyone's talking about it in the chat. But you're in your 30s. I'm in my 40s. And I think there's such a fear about turning 30 in particular seems to be one that people are really scared of. Can you speak from your experience? Because my experience is literally like the best years of your lives are when you hit, like, there's something in the freedom, the self-confidence, the just, I don't give a fuck anymore about your 30s, which is just so inspiring, really comforting. Cherie said to say what's up as well, Tamma. She said hi, Tamma.
Hi, Cherie.
Can you talk to that a little bit about how you found your 30s? Because I it makes me sad when people say that, because I'm like, you don't know what's coming up. It actually is quite honestly the best years of your lives, I think. And I mean, the 40s for me have been amazing as well. So
naughty 40.
Naughty 40, let's go. But yeah, I don't know, like there's this expectation that you need to have. I mean, I didn't pick up a camera till I was 31. I didn't have my shit together before I was 30. Like, my life, I feel like it began in my 30s. Yes. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, totally. I agree. So for me, I think, you know, I did my life a bit back to front. I was married with a mortgage at 22. And by the time I got to 29, that's when things started to, I was petrified of turning 30, by the way. But, you know, I felt like, you know, I had been up to my eyeballs in debt for the mortgage, divorce papers, and, you know, husband and married life, and behaving like I was basically in my 50s when I was so young. And I couldn't get out there and write the music because I couldn't even sing. I physically had no voice. I had to spend years recovering and rehabilitating and retraining myself, and actually getting, which is shout out to my old vocal coach who Kimbra actually put me on to. She saved my life. Sadly enough, she actually passed away just on Friday, which is really sad. So shout out to Cheryl McClay, because she is, I know.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and it's hard because we just had her virtual online service this morning, which is so sad. But so Cheryl taught me a lot. But one of the things is that, like, I've really enjoyed being back home in New Zealand for the last year as a female artist here, because there isn't that level of ageism. No. Yeah. We've got artists like Holly Smith here, who is an incredible artist. And she'd be like maybe 42 or something like that. And she is like God here. And the younger musicians look up to her. And, you know, a lot of the boys in the massive bands here that, you know, do the festival rounds and stuff, they're all like, they're dominating. They're in their like mid-30s, 40s. A lot of them are dads. A lot of them are, you know, so there's a lot more kind of freedom, I think, because, you know, growing up here in New Zealand, everyone's, you know, we've got, like, you go into maraes and you learn how to sing waiatas with the elders on the maraes, and you learn that being able to express yourself through music is not anything to do with age. When I moved to Melbourne, I did feel that was different. And
it's really drummed into people. It's like it's the latest, youngest, hottest new thing. Like that seems to be the thing in the industry.
Yeah,
all
and
of
even
the women
like
talked about it.
Yeah, and you did Her Sound, Her Story, which I thought was fascinating. And there's definitely you know, it's been carved out that way that people feel like they're in a hurry. I read Poppy Reed's article the other day that she wrote off the back of that Triple J tweet, which I think kind of caused a bit of shit there for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was so funny because I shared that tweet because I thought it was hilarious, because I knew the intention was not aimed at artists. Obviously, it was not aimed at artists. It was aimed at the, you know, the 45-year-old guy that's like, Triple J doesn't sound the same anymore. Like, but unfortunately, artists took it really personally. And, you know, to be fair, it started a conversation that's, we had already with Her Sound, Her Story. There's a whole segment dedicated to ageism. It's a thing that nobody's really had the guts to stand up and talk about. So you know, I kept jumping into chat, like to threads saying, hey guys, I don't think this is about you. I actually think this is about listeners. But they were like, it doesn't matter. And I totally get it. Like, I have the privilege of not being an artist and not being able to, not taking it personally. I totally saw where everyone was coming from, but it did definitely spark some conversation, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that, for those of you who are listening who are in the younger age bracket, and there's this feeling of like you need to be in a massive hurry because you're aging out and you're not going to be relevant and stuff. Like, when I released my first single, I literally had Sony and Warner in LA and stuff contacting, but they were actually asking my manager how old I was. How old is she? And my manager just didn't give my age out. But so it was very much a real thing of we need to ensure that she's. So if you are feeling that, it is out there and it does suck, but there's also a world of opportunity outside of what you think.
Well, we don't need to buy into it. Like, we don't need to buy into it as individuals. Like, the society and the industry and all that can be saying all this stuff, but if you speak to any artist in their 30s, 40s, 50s, they will all say the same thing. They will all tell you they're doing their best work. Because of course they are. They've more experience, they've got more things to say, they've got more opinions about politics or whatever. So of course they're doing their best work as they age. So like, you go. No, I just think it's frustrating to see that it continues to be a point when you talk about like radio play and stuff like that, and it's still definitely a thing, but I don't know, as individual creators and stuff, I mean, I'll just keep expressing that life gets better when you get older. So if, I'm just going to keep saying honestly,
but it's so much better. It's so much better.
It's so much better. Like, I wouldn't want to be younger now. My God, no.
It's lots of, like, I think the interesting thing is, like, because I lived my life back to front, by the time I got to 29, 30, I was ashamed of my age. And I was ashamed of my age because I missed out on all the things I should have done in my 20s. So I started doing them in my 30s. And, being single, like traveling the world, going to festivals, partying, doing like whatever I wanted. But the cool thing is that I had financial freedom. I was free from a relationship that I was not happy in. And I just spent the time of like getting my shit together, writing the music I wanted to write, and doing what I wanted to do. And I think, you start to get more comfortable with that stuff as well. And, far out, man, I'm like living the best time right now. And it's got nothing to do with how old I am. It's like, and you just become, you take more risks, you become a bit more ballsy with your decisions that you're making. You don't. Way
more self-assured. Like, you just like, Nedrick's in the chats just said, I'm in my late 30s. I still remember when I was in my late 20s, I had so many people telling me I had to quit music by 30, saying it's too late now and let the young ones do it. Really glad I ignored them. Having so much fun now and very happy. We love that. Yay! So
exactly.
I just love that.
That is so good. Thank you for sharing that. And that's exactly right. Don't stop writing. Don't stop creating. Honestly, like, fuck what everyone else is saying about you have to be a certain age and succeed at a certain thing. You should be in this certain place. When people get to that, I don't know if people believe in stuff like the Saturn's going around the sun or whatever, but they talk about Saturn return. I'm not into like astrology stuff. I don't
at all, but a lot of people are super into it, so I know. But but this is like something to do with scientific, like literally the gravity and all the, I don't know. Go look it up. Yeah. But apparently it starts around the 29, 30, and people start to question, like, oh, I feel different from my 20s. I feel differently about my decisions. I feel differently about my friendship group. I feel differently about what I'm going to say and create in my music or in my art. And just go in and grab that and just, don't feel bad about those things. Like, face them head on and go, that's cool. Like, this is my chance to actually tackle some of that stuff and just enjoy it. And Asha said it's she's in her Saturn return. It's upheaval. I definitely feel like that 28, 29, I know for me was like a huge, like, massive change in friendship group, massive change in priorities, massive change
career.
The way that I look at my life. And yeah, I think you start to shed a lot of that, stuff from either your high school or your university years, and you're just like, oh, maybe I don't need to hang on to all of these people that I've got nothing in common with anymore, and you start finding new friends that, really understand you or accept you for who you truly are and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's definitely a thing. Britt said I think it's a similar thing too. Like, I have friends of all kinds of ages, all walks of life, and people find that really weird, and I'm like, why? Age simply should not matter at the end of the day. It's just life experience. Or anyone that knows me knows that's very much the case with me. I have friends that are from 18 all the way up to like 65. So and I think it's really important too. Yeah. So important to have friends from different age groups.
All different ages. If you can have those connections and relationships with people of all different ages, like, power to you. That's great. That's what, we learn from different age groups. You're constantly learning from different age groups. And
that's so interesting that you say that. You don't agree, Soy. We're listening to your new music today, Soy, by the way.
Hi, Soy. What, you don't agree with learning from different age groups?
He said, I don't agree with your qualms, Michelle. He's lying. He definitely agrees. I
love it.
That's one of the things I think is kind of sad about. There's a bit of discourse in the moment, at the moment with, making fun of boomers and all that sort of stuff, because they can be very annoying. But there's also wisdom in like older people that I think we've lost a little bit. Don't you think? Yeah. Like, there's a real an animosity from younger people towards older people, which I don't really understand, because we've always learned from our elders. There's like those people, they've often done all the dumb shit that you think's really new, and it's like, no, we did that already. Some of the stuff that I'm seeing at the moment, I'm like, we went through that, we just called it something different. So you grow out of that in 5 years, trust me. Love you lots too, Soy. Thanks for popping in.
Hi, Soy. Love it.
We did mention before, Soy, we are recording the podcast live today via the stream, and we're playing your music. So we're going to put the link to the new album, which is awesome.
Yeah, we love it.
Mildred has just popped in and said, hi, Tamma and Michelle. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. I really agree with you on that. I have so many friends who bring so many different things to the table, and you don't see... and collaboration is so important, especially in the creative industry. So that's lovely.
Yes.
And welcome to the stream, Mildred.
Yes, welcome, Mildred. It's cool to have you all here. I think, do you know what? It's the funny thing is, like, Mish, you've got heaps of young friends, so do I, and heaps of friends who are a lot older as well. And, like one of my closest friends who has mentored me through my whole working career in technology and coaching teams and things like that. He's in his 50s and has taught me so many things. But where I've got to with my businesses, with the Wellbeings Network and Funny Business Boys, the things that we're doing and building on and doing in that, it's creative stuff that's crossing over with technology. And if I didn't have that mentor who's in his 50s, who's paved the way for that side of my career, we wouldn't be able to do half the stuff that we want to do in that business world as well. So there's no, just go out and connect with people who inspire you and who uplift you and who encourage you, or to maybe, like we said, take a few risks of trying a few different things. Like you're not going to be just only trying to get in front of one audience type as an artist. Like you have to just, where your music takes you, if it's music that you're doing, or visual art, find that, just understand who that audience is and that crowd, because people will be getting value out of it. It doesn't have to be a bunch of 24-year-olds. And I love 24-year-olds. I think they're great. Like, I've got lots of 24, 25-year-old friends, but you don't need to try and please one specific age group to try and get opportunities come your way, because that's almost limiting yourself.
Yeah, Zoe said, you're both making me feel less weird for getting along with everyone, no matter their age. I definitely feel like I'm going through a stage where my whole worldview is shifting, and care about what others think is fading away. Can I just tell you also, Zoe, that continues to happen as well. There's not just like one point in your life. I mean, I can't, that's like a constantly evolving process for me, is that my worldview completely changes. Like what I thought at 21, holy shit, was I so dumb. Holy shit. Like it just, you just have life experience, you learn, you see the world from such a different point of view, and it keeps continually to evolve. Even stuff I thought 5 years ago, I'm just like, oh my God, I was so wrong about that. So I think just allowing yourself to be open and listening to different points of view. I say this all the time on the stream, Tamma, and I say this on the podcast as well. Really be open to different points of view. It's honestly the best thing for your own critical thinking, for your own just shaping yourself as a whole human. Don't cut out those people that that disagree with you on one thing. It's so unhealthy. I can't tell you how unhealthy it is. So keep those people around, and you don't have to agree with everybody and everything. That's a very boring life if that's the way you're gonna
absolutely
live.
boring. Yes,
boring.
yes. Boring. Keep things interesting.
And also have some healthy debates. It's okay to disagree. You can have. I've got some great friends. We have even Glows. He's a really good example. Or probably all of my friends that are the smartest people I know. We have healthy debates, disagreements, where we're coming at stuff from completely different views, and we're at it like passionate, and it's so good. It's like this is the best. Like we're actually, because we know that we love each other, and we know that we're coming from it. We're not gonna ditch each other at the end of the argument. This is about trying to show, if you're really passionate about something, it's also like you're trying to persuade the other person, hey, this is my worldview, this is what I'm telling you exists. Rather than going, fuck you, you can't see it from my, like, whatever, I'm never talking to you again. Like,
no,
that's
it's
like
and
not
disagreements are fine. Like don't go and chop someone's top knot off if they're pissing you off or something. But
don't do that.
I just remembered when I was like 23 or something, I had an argument with one of my mates. It was like a debate, but I was like, by the end of it, he went and sat on the couch, and I got annoyed with him. So I literally went and got the clippers and shaved a massive stripe up the back of his head. Yeah. So I don't do that anymore. Don't do that anymore.
Oh my God, Benny just said the best quote, and I agree with this, Benny. Best thing I learned as a kid, if you walk into a room and feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yes. Benny boy, that's great. I love that. Oh
my God. This is why I used to really, I haven't been on Clubhouse as much, but this is why I loved Clubhouse as much, because I used to go into these rooms where I was literally the dumbest person in the room by magnitudes. Yeah. And it was so inspiring to listen to really smart people flesh out, like, I don't know, philosophy or just stuff that I'm just like quantum physics, stuff that I know my little brain is not going to be able to comprehend. But I love smart people talking about things like that. It's so inspiring. So good,
inspiring.
Benny.
Yes.
I love really that. Britt said, but Benny, I'm the only person in the room currently. That's funny. And 80 said, never stop learning, never stop listening. Oh, I love that.
Yes. Really good vibes.
So good.
Oh, well, I loved this.
Hour? My God. Yeah. What
so
a great
good.
Chat.
Such a good chat. Yes.
Have you loved your first Twitch stream?
I have loved it. It's been really nice. I want to be able to, next time we'll work out how I can see all of the things
chat
popping up.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's like a second time thing, because it can be very overwhelming the first time, because it's just like, what is happening?
Yeah, you're reading all the things at the same time.
You're reading all the things, totally. Yeah. But this was great. It was great to go through our wild MIDI life crisis and our hairstyles and chat to everyone about getting older. This was super fun. Thanks for being awesome, my Twitch community as well. This is really good. We should definitely do this again sometime.
Oh, we should definitely do it. And shout out to your Twitch community. Shout out to our listeners on the pod. And everyone that supports us. And again,
we need to get all of the listeners from the pod onto the Twitch and vice versa.
Yes.
So Twitch and pod
cross-pollinate. Yes. Yes. And we've got a couple of, if there are some topics that you'd like us to talk about, we do have a couple up our sleeves, which people have requested, which we will be doing very soon. Don't be afraid to message us on our Instagram, on Mish's Discord.
We've got prizes coming up.
Oh my goodness. We need to tell people about that. We've got a big competition coming up, actually.
I'll let you go. Do you want to tell people now, or do you want to wait?
I think we should tell people on Friday, potentially.
Okay, we'll tell people on Friday. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
That's fine, Mildred and Matt. Thanks for being here as well. Yeah, I think well, let's do that on Friday. Let's yeah, we can totally end this now. And what else did I have to say? No, I had to say no. That's fine. It's all good.
Okay.
I'll let my chat people know in Discord. But
okay.
Thanks for being here. This was fun.
Yay! Well done. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
All right.
Recording stopped.
You've stopped the recording, so we've officially recorded, finished. That was so fun. We definitely need to do this again.
Yeah.
We definitely need to do this again.
Yeah, that was very fun. I loved that. That's cool. I like all the interaction everyone had.
The interaction's so good. It's like it adds a little third dimension to the podcast as well.
Yes,
it's like we're getting
I know
questions during the podcast. So
I know it's awesome. Let's do a little.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Oh yeah, still a little photo. Hang on.
Okay, 1, 2, and thanks everyone. Yes. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Woohoo! Love it. That's cool.
Thanks, Ash, for that. Oh God, we're getting follow bots at the moment. I'm going to end the stream. Guys, I'll talk to you shortly in Discord. And remember, it's SUBTEMBER at the moment. So I think on Sunday we'll have a big SUBTEMBER subathon. See how we go. Love you guys. We'll see you in the chat on Sunday. Bye, crew.
Bye, everyone.